right, good morning, y'all. I am on my morning walk with a little bit of coffee just before the sun comes up, and you can see it's just an amazingly beautiful day, just like it is every morning. This is a magical time of morning. It really is. I forget what you call it. If it's twilight, maybe twilight is that shift in light before the sun comes up and right after the sun goes down. But anyway, it really is a magical time of day to be present before the sun comes up, before the day begins, and then as the day begins, because you can set your intentions for the day and you feel like you're accomplishing something in and of itself. But I want to talk about the importance of a morning walk and solitude and time with your own mind versus not having a walk, or even having a walk where you're listening to books or podcasts or talking to someone, okay? So ever since I can remember, I've walked. I've always walked. I've walked every morning. Somehow I kind of knew the benefits of, from a fitness standpoint, just getting up and moving while you had an empty stomach and before the day began. It's just like something about getting your heart rate up and getting your metabolism going for the day or something. But it was bigger than that, because I've always been a loner. I've always been on my own. I've always been the new kid and moving around a lot. I enlisted in the military when I first got out of high school. And so everywhere that I went alone, it was just my thing to do by myself. I would get up, roll out of bed, listen to some music, and I'd go for a walk. And that was my time to myself. And for years, I used that time to listen to podcasts and listen to books. And when I got to this point where I was doing personal training and some nutrition and life coaching, I'd always recommend to my clients that they use that time also to listen to podcasts and books, because it can be very motivating and inspiring. But I've kind of changed my stance on that here lately. So if you think about it, in understanding what's happening, we're saying a big part of the problem is that we're habituated to thinking. We're thinking all day, every day. Then if I'm listening to something, whether it's a podcast or a book or even music, to some degree I'm still thinking. I'm still having some activity in my mind. And so what we really want is some time where we don't have anything going on and we can kind of let some space happen naturally. So when I was in my little podcast book listening mode, and I still do, I have dedicated times where I sit at my computer and I listen to podcasts and book and take notes. But there was a time that every spare second of my day, I was listening to something. Every spare second of my day, whether it was a walk or a drive or in the grocery store or at home, like any spare second I had, I was listening to something. And what I noticed is over time, it started to cause this background anxiety, because I never had any space to myself except for this little meditation period that I had in the mornings. So it's fascinating, because myself and a lot of the holistic practitioners that I stay in touch with on a regular basis, and even the people really close to me that, of course, eat real food and sleep well and get sun every day and meditate every day, we've all kind of gravitated toward the same idea, and that is we like to have time with our own minds without input from anything else. And so here's what we recommend. Make the decision right now that you're going to commit to a morning walk most days. All right? That morning walk most days is going to be so beneficial for you in so many different ways. First of all, you're getting your body moving on an empty stomach, which is great for fat burning, right? You're training your body how to use another form of fuel, which is your excess body fat, because it doesn't have anything else to go off of at that point, right? Another great thing about a morning walk is you're getting moving and you're allowing yourself some time to think freely before the craziness of the day begins. All right, so what we recommend is on this morning walk, you're only with your own mind. You're not listening to anything else. You're not talking to anyone. You're not even listening to music. We'd highly recommend that you set your phone down at home when you go on this walk, so that you're not even tempted to look at it. I had a couple people, bring up, safety concerns and wanting to have a phone just in case they needed to call someone, I guess that's fine as long as you put your phone in airplane mode and you put it in your backpack or somewhere where you can't access it easy. But I think the temptation is to break it out and look at your text messages or something. I don't know. Even taking pictures, I think, can be distracting. But the bottom line is you want time with your own mind on this walk, and you want to notice your tendency to start to think about anything that doesn't serve you, all right? You want to notice your tendency to think about things that are stressing you out, causing you a little bit of anxiety. And that's pretty easy to notice, because there's a tight feeling that comes along with it. What you do want to do is you just allow yourself to think about whatever things come up. And so what I'll do on a lot of my walks as an experiment is I will not have any pre-planned idea of what it is that I want to think about. And out of curiosity, I'll be like, I wonder what's going to surface. And sure enough, like as I get on my walk, I'm kind of looking for my thoughts. Thoughts don't happen. I have a lot of space. And then when things come up, they're things that I actually need to think about. You know, it's like maybe a video I need to put together, or some brainstorming that I'm doing, you know, on some big project or something. But regardless, those things are actually very constructive, right? I think it's beneficial to go on your walk without a plan or an idea of what it is that you want to think about, and let those things kind of pop up naturally. You can even, just like in meditation, see those things and then decide to come back to the present moment, feel the ground that you're walking on, feel the sun, look around, listen, and just become completely present and let those ideas come and go. But the bottom line is, you want some time with your own mind, you know, whether that's space without thinking, noticing thoughts and coming back, or even allowing yourself to think about whatever comes up, as long as you're not thinking about things that are causing you stress and that are negative, okay? So that's our goal going forward, is a morning walk most days. It's beneficial on so many different levels. You're getting your body moving. It's time to yourself. It's time with your own mind without the inputs of other people's minds. Allow yourself to think about whatever pops up, as long as it's something that serves you. And also experiment with just being present and listening and feeling and noticing what's around you and noticing birds and wildlife. And I love the sound of traffic, you know. And I guarantee you, within 1 to 3 days, you're going to start to notice something different about your days from that, okay? Love you guys.